This is the Collecting Real Estate Podcast. I'm your host, Stephen Purse, here with your co-host, Bill Hamel.
I'm so much more comfortable collecting real estate than I am collecting other stuff.
Bill, this was such a great episode today with your brother, Mike. I know after recording, I'm certainly feeling inspired. He had a lot of messages about going big fast and giving back to people.
Absolutely. I knew he was going to deliver. I know him better than anybody else other than maybe his wife, but I also know how passionate he is at this point in his life and his career with giving back and helping people. We've done what we have could to help with the basket brigade, and it's so inspiring every year. And I know what he's trying to accomplish with his coaching. He's just trying to empower, people just getting in the business or younger people getting in the business to allow them, to grow faster, to find solutions to some of the pitfalls that he had earlier on.
Yeah, whether it's giving back to charities or giving back to younger entrepreneurs, a lot of inspiring messages. I mean, even getting up at 4 or 5 a.m., as you mentioned, it makes me feel fired up to work hard today. So
No,
I think the
absolutely.
listeners will get a lot of value out of this one.
No, I hope so. He does have so much to offer, and he's going to bed at 9:30 at night, getting up at 4 in the morning, preparing himself for literally an hour or two every day. So he's ready to, be the best he can be on a daily basis.
It's those things that everyone hears, the things you should do, but so few people actually implement that into their daily lives.
No BS here. He does it.
All right. Well, I think we'll get a lot of value out of this.
Awesome.
Welcome to Collecting Real Estate. This is a podcast where we discuss the collections that real estate investors have built and dive into the stories, habits, and decisions that got them to where they are. My name is Stephen Purse, and I'm here with my co-host, Bill Hamel.
Good morning, Steve. And today is a special podcast. This guest is very dear to my heart. He has been a real estate partner for around 20 years. He's also helped me in a lot of different areas of my life. We have a bittersweet week. On Monday, we celebrated my mom's life. And with that comes bigger and better things because we are cut from the same cloth. We have a very similar mindset. And we are excited for things that would have excited my mom. So, without further ado, Stephen, please introduce our guest today.
Thanks for that, Bill. I'm excited to introduce Michael Hamel, who is here today with us from HMA Contracting. Mike, can we hear a little bit about your background on when you started collecting real estate and really the intro to your real estate career?
Yeah, my real estate career started about 5 or 6 years after I started my HMA Paving and Contracting business. Bill, my brother here, some people may think we're twins looking at us here in this on this video, but it started, like my brother said, about 20 years ago. My brother came to me and he was always asking me if I wanted to be involved because he had just started and I saw he was having success with it. And at the time, I was a kind of a struggling entrepreneur at the time. Started HMA Paving and Contracting with two other gentlemen, and I had my mind on that mainly. But I did read a book about multiple streams of income, and the real estate game made sense because there was already the map out there. My brother was already having success in it, and I knew I could get involved with my brother, who was near and dear to my heart, and I trusted with my life. And so it really started with a small purchase, a two-family in actually a one-family in Menands. Three of us bought together, probably in the late 90s. And I exited out of that deal, probably about a year after I sold my shares and kind of I was happy with the little profit I made, and then maybe a year or so went by, and then Bill came by and said, "Hey, I got another deal," and I jumped on it, and it's been great ever since.
That's great, Mike. I wanted to hit on what you said about you creating different pillars, being in the paving excavation business, and seeing what me and Greg were doing in real estate. You had mentioned pillars. Tell us a little bit about that concept of what you're trying to accomplish there.
Yeah, having a paving and excavation business was great. I did know that I was going to do well in the future with it, but it was very much a struggle in business at the time, and I knew that it was much more just active income. Active income meaning I got the paycheck every week. It went into my checking account and I spent the money. I needed something else, and real estate is phenomenal when it comes to another way to make money, and that's passive income. And I knew that I needed that type of an investment to work for myself when I'm sleeping every day, not just when I'm out working. So that was really, really important to me. Knowing that I would have some liquid assets that were working for me and not just my hands and brain and back working for myself. So that's really, really why real estate's important to me.
Such a powerful message there to have multiple pillars of revenue, some being passive, some being active. Jumping forward to today, are there any other pillars that you're trying to create in your business?
Yeah, I got to tell you, I'm very, very passionate about the people part of the business. And it's funny, early on in my career, I was really more concerned with making the money and, becoming an investor in real estate for money. Now it's as much important to me that I'm working with people. I started a coaching business. I've got a handful of clients that I have, and it's really about who I can help and what I can do for the community, as much as how much money I'm going to make. Because my philosophy now is, the more I do, the more I'll be rewarded anyways. So I'm very, very passionate about helping people grow and move along in their careers as well as just my career.
With that said, and you having a base of students, and knowing that real estate, I feel, is the best pillar of wealth. So me and Steven are anxious to see every one of your clients at our monthly meetup, and we can help them build their education on that real estate pillar. But going back to your story there, knowing it so well because we've lived it together, that second purchase that I dragged you into, I know how I was back when I was, 27, 28 years old, running around, building a real estate portfolio, reacting to a lot of things and just kind of doing things on the fly without a lot of personal development under my wing. Explain how that second purchase transpired from when you got that phone call from me, not knowing that I was on the lawn of an auction and actually going to be purchasing this large commercial property.
Well, that second purchase was, really, really, I guess it was really us getting into the game big time. I thought it was the passion that you had to go out and get that property, and how we figured out how to get it done. We had relationships with a local bank that trusted us immensely. And we pulled off, getting the money for this deal in 30 days, where it normally takes 60 or 90 days. But it showed us that we were capable of just making anything really happen if you put your mind to it. And from the time that I got the call, hey, I got this property, I'm low bid. What am I going to do? I said, well, we'll make it happen. And we put our heads together, the three of us, and put our heads together, got a hold of the banker, and on a Friday and another day we buy it, and then we're up there doing a roof and painting and doing what we needed to do to make the building successful. And I think we owned it about a year, and we flipped it and all turned some profit on it. And really, we're on our way to our real estate holdings because of what we did in that purchase. Basically, it built us some net worth.
Yeah, I think at that point, I was able to really set off that second partnership where me and Greg were rolling along, building that small property portfolio. And then after that Citadel Square commercial property flip, at that point, me and you started to build that same momentum.
Absolutely. Yeah, our momentum didn't stop after that, because we went on and bought bigger properties after that, 14 units, 7 unit. We continued to buy the 1 families and the 2 families, but the bigger purchases started happening pretty rapidly.
So it's safe to say at that point you felt like you were collecting real estate?
Oh yeah. My wife used to, it was funny. I'd come home, on a Monday or Tuesday night, and she'd say, "What'd you buy today?" Because my brother and I were buying a lot of property at one point, and a lot of buildings, because in the beginning, we weren't buying 30 or 40 unit buildings like we're now, and 60 unit buildings. We were buying 1 families, 2 families, 7 families, 14 families. So it was a lot of transactions, a lot of how were we going to do it. And it showed that, stuff happens when you just have the desire and you have the teamwork and the heart for it. And we did. And we built some real good net worth because of it. And, now we can expand accordingly.
Once you get that real estate investing bug, it's hard to get rid of it. You mentioned reading a book before your first purchase. I love digging into what sparks that real estate interest. Do you remember what book that was?
Well, I have to tell you, the book that I read wasn't a real estate book. It was a book by Jay Abraham, and he's a marketing wizard. And in there, he talked about multiple pillars of not just income. He talked about multiple pillars of having multiple businesses and having multiple messages to clients. And then that book just kind of hit me, where it was like, oh, wow. And he came across me when, because I'm a big Tony Robbins guy, and he loves Jay Abrahams because of Jay is so practical and so smart at the same time. And his message about multiple pillars is so important, not just with marketing or business, or you just don't want to put all your eggs in one basket, especially in today's economy, for sure.
With that said, on Jay Abraham tying into Tony Robbins, and I know that he really talks about a culture, building a culture for your business. And I know that you have focused on that and had a great deal of success there. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, over the last, I would say 5 or 6 years, 7 years, it's been real important to me. After I attended Business Mastery, Tony Robbins Business Mastery, business is a lot more than just the transactions every day that you make. It's really about your team and, your core values and your beliefs. Basically, it's your belief system. As we all have belief systems and values as individuals, businesses have their own values and belief systems. And our main core value at HMA Paving and Contracting is respect. And respect gets drilled down into 7 other core values. One is responsive. We want to be responsive to people. Empowering is the second one. Safety is the third one. We're a contractor, so we want to be safe with everything we do. P is perfection. E, excellence. C is caring, and T is trustworthy. So when we hire somebody new in our business, they always go through an orientation where we talk about our core values, we talk about our culture, and our culture is really built around our community, HMA's community, the non-for-profits that we work with, and the Caring Community Basket Brigade that we do. It's built around our HMA business. The HMA business has to be strong financially. Raving fan clients, the people we deal with every day, the people that keep coming back to us, and then our employees. Number one thing is our employees, and making sure that we have a strong employee base. So it's very, very important that everyone understands. This is where it's tricky in business now, especially tricky. It's hard to find people, and I've been down this road this year already. One of my people will interview a new person and they'll want to hire them. Well, then they got to go through an orientation between myself and my human resource person. We're finding that it's to the point where we even backpedal on some of our core values and our importance about our culture because we're so into hiring people, but it's not a good place to go. So I guess what I'm saying is if you don't have your core values set and you don't know what your culture is in your business, you're just going to hire anybody and you're going to put anybody on the field. And that's not necessarily what you should do as an employer. And it's just like buying real estate. You have your place, your where you like to buy, your sweet spot, your size of your buildings, your locale of where you want to buy. It's no different. You've got your criteria. We have our criteria who we want to have work at HMA Paving and Contracting because of our core values and culture.
Yeah, I love that with the core values because it's being in business so long. I'm sure you're able to explain when you were running your business, and you have always been successful running your business, when your core values and your culture wasn't as strong now as you have it currently. Can you explain the differences and that transitional period?
Yeah, when the culture started becoming stronger, I became a stronger leader at the same time because it drilled down to the things that I was really, really passionate about, and dealing with people. So we got a lot more caring about each other, became more of a family than just the hire somebody for the transaction and how much work can they do and measure that, and geez, they didn't do too. It's more of a family affair, and so that became more of an important thing to myself and to my business and our success. I got to tell you, from the time I started really exploring it, we were doing modest profits, in our business until 2014 and 15. That's when we started changing our thought process about how it was a people business more than just an excavation and paving business. It became much more successful, and not only money monetarily, but relationships with employees and with our clients, basically, for sure.
No, I was able to witness that very clearly, and congratulations on making that transition, because boy, have you really jumped from one area to the next.
Well, thank you. You were there, Bill, when you saw me working on it at Business Mastery. There was a big passion of mine to change something, as every person that knows, if you're in real estate or you're in construction or you're whatever business you're in, one thing you got to realize, if you want to go out and buy that property or if you want to start that business, it all starts with our head first. It's until you can influence yourself, you're not going to influence others. So it's not going to work whether you're buying the property or whether you're trying to influence your construction team.
There's no understating the power and importance of core values and influence coming from the top down. I want to jump back into the concept of having different pillars of businesses, different pillars of revenue. A lot of real estate professionals like to talk about the one thing, the Keller Williams book, on focusing on one thing and how that's so important to making one great business. And I'm more on your side, that I like to have multiple things going on. I don't know if that's an attention span problem or if it's for diversification. Can you talk about having multiple pillars, and do you see one pillar take away from the other a lot? So if you were that building, is the roof kind of sloppy? Is it lopsided because one pillar is higher than the other? Or are you able to keep the pillars all strong together?
Well, personally, I don't necessarily have a problem keeping them strung together, because one thing that you have to remember when you have multiple pillars, you need multiple people. So when you have multiple people that you trust in order to, like my brother, we invest in real estate together, and my brother has always been the guy that spearheaded that and has done that. That's my pillar. And when he needed support, I was there, and when he needs support now, I'm still there. In my construction business, I've got a phenomenal team that I work with every day. So in my coaching business, it's just me. So it doesn't get sloppy for me, because I'm not just trying to do it all myself. That's the message that a lot of people get later on in their life, is that you just can't do it all yourself. If I tried to do everything, and there's just not enough time in the day. So just trusting people, and just getting involved with the right people, like the deal that my brother and I have going now. We have a phenomenal partner that's joining forces. Am I worried about that deal that we have going? Absolutely not, because we've got an A+ team, and and some people can go, "Geez, how are you doing that?" Well, I have had people ask, "Geez, how are you doing that and doing this too?" I was like, I have great people that I'm working with. It's how you do things in life, basically. So no, I don't worry about that, Steve, at all. If I could get another 2 businesses going, I would. It just would have to be with the right people.
I love that answer. Can you talk more about the deal that you do have going on right now?
Yeah, it's a phenomenal deal that my brother and I have been working on for 3 years. Through a friend. And this guy, again, it's all about people. And this guy trusts us. He could have gone out to another bunch of other people, but he didn't. And it's a 60 unit in the center of the Capital District. This is what my brother and I have been talking about for years. In fact, our purchase we made last year was the start of it, the 39 unit in Colony. This one here in Latham is it's just a phenomenal deal for us, and very excited about it. And it's just the start of many things to happen. In fact, our partner that's joining forces with us is a great guy, and has been a friend of mine for years. He sees Bill and I as partners, and all he wants to do is just keep going for more, because he knows his partnership that he has with us, and the opportunities we bring to him, and the opportunities he brings to us. So it's a 60 unit townhouses, parking, on-site guy there, that we're thinking is going to work for us. I think it's going to be a property that we improve, and we add value to it, as my brother talks about all the time.
Yeah, I love the deals when we've been waiting for this for 3 years, and once you negotiate a deal, it was a little bit higher than where I wanted to be based on where we were 3 years ago. Clearly understanding we're in a completely different marketplace at this point. The real estate market's so hot, so competitive, but we were comfortable. It fit that criteria of making a fair deal with the seller, knowing that we're getting in at around a 6 cap, but we have all of that upside potential happening. And it's so common with deals that we've gotten involved in, where we're very comfortable once we do that contract, make the plan, but as you go week by week, month by month, and you're really digging into that analysis and the value add and the details of it, the deal gets sweeter and sweeter as we get to that finish line, or in other words, that closing. So now that deal excites me so much, because when you're taking rents from $1,050 to, at this point, we're very confident on $1,500 a month out of each apartment, that thing is gonna perform beautifully.
Yeah, I would say I would have to agree with my brother. One thing that my brother and I have been successful with real estate is we're two pretty conservative guys. So when we go into a property, when we think we can get the property rent up to $1,400, it's usually going to be a little more. We usually tend to err on the side of good business. I like to call it, and I think this property is going to be a great property for us. And you always got that measuring stick of the when the bank gets involved and the appraiser gets involved, and when they start reassuring what you were thinking and start thinking even more than what we were thinking. It makes you feel good. So we're really really excited about it, and we'll maybe the next time I'm on a podcast with you guys, we'll have already improved that property, and we can talk about that.
Everything I've seen from this looks like it's a great deal, and it is so important to underwrite with a conservative mindset. I think we've heard it called pencil whipping in numbers, where you make the numbers look good when you know they're not, and that's not going to help anyone in the long run. Mike, I want to jump to a segment called Plastic Wrapped Favorite. In most collections, whether it's baseball cards or Beanie Babies, the collector has a favorite, and they usually store it in some sort of plastic. I hope your favorite real estate isn't wrapped in plastic, but I want to hear more about it, whether it is just a cool-looking home or in a neighborhood that you really like. Was there a favorite purchase or favorite transaction that you've had throughout your real estate career?
I have to say, we still own my favorite property, and it's near and dear to my heart because I like to think that it was our first big property, and it was big at the time for us. It was that 14 unit in North Greenbush. I think that's my favorite property, and and we were almost selling it last year, and which was fine. We could have, but it's my favorite property because it brings back memories to my brother and I getting to the point where we got larger in our portfolio. That was the largest thing we had bought, and it was special to me that we did that, and I think after that purchase we just kept going.
Yeah, it's all about the location, and we bought that, I believe, in around 2003, 3 years after that commercial auction deal that we did, and we improved it. We probably could have done much more value add at that point, but fortunately, it worked out. It's performed well over the years. We've now recently done much more value add and seeing the value and the adding value to that property as we do that. And it just makes me think about, okay, that's our first bigger deal. And then going back to where you used to go home and Janet, your wife, would say, okay, what'd you buy today? And Janet knows me so well, where fast forwarding from 2003 to 2006-ish, and now I'm really passionate for bigger properties, and, had met Tom Friedlander from Homestead Funding, and he gave us the opportunity over in Center Square with the Lancaster Streets, and that led to Hudson Avenue, and then it led to a 16-unit uptown on North Allen Street. Tell us a little bit more of that whirlwind that I was just, and then me and Greg did a deal down the road on Hudson Avenue, so we knocked down 4 big deals for us at that point in like a year's period of time. And knowing how I am, I was very, very comfortable with the deals because I was a real estate professional at that point. But let us in a little bit more of those discussions and the mindset of what was going on at that point.
Well, I was very much in an expansion mindset at that point in my life. I have been since my late 20s when I got into self-development. So it was very something that I had set my mind on doing. I'm a very pragmatic business guy, so I was able to put some more organized thoughts about it and make it happen. And I think really what helped us become successful there is finding the properties, but also naturally having that great partnership. But we also had somebody that trusted in us immensely, and I know there's people in the real estate game know OPM, other people's money, and we had somebody that trusted us big time and let us borrow borrow some money to help us do some of these big purchases. So I was very, very, very happy with what we were doing. I'm not sure that my wife was extremely pleased with how fast we were going, but we went relatively fast. We went very fast for 99% of investors, I would think. But we did it right, though. We found the money. We had the team in place to make it happen. We were managing our own properties there for a while. I helped manage properties and show apartments, and I guess it just, we did what we needed to do, and I was very comfortable with it. At the time, looking back on it, I wish that we could have even bought more. Looking back at it, but I think what happened to us was we got caught up because we ended up having a lot, and we ended up having to run the business and be part of it. And there was probably 5, 6, 7 years that I was showing apartments and helping with the books, and maybe probably even longer, where if we kind of maybe looked for that other team player, maybe a manager of some sort, an outside manager, we instead of having the units we have now, we'd maybe have triple the units we have. So I was very, very comfortable with it, knowing that I had a great partner, my brother, and some money behind us and the wherewithal. So,
yeah, talk about those relationships. I hadn't thought so much about it. A lot of it was, the beginning of that momentum in 2006 was a seller that was willing to work with us. And then you brought up the private lender who you had such a strong, and still have, we both have such a strong relationship with him because he's still a private lender for us currently. Tell us about just relationships, or that relationship in general, and how valuable that is.
We've been talking for probably about a half an hour here, and I think 80% of the conversation has probably been about relationships as much as anything. It's about our partnership we've had and partnerships we do still have, and you have with Steve in there. I feel it's none of this happens without other people, and when I was, just a story, until I was about 32, 33, 34 years old, I thought I was going to do it all on my own, and that was really kind of at the start of when we were buying real estate. I was that person that, was thinking that I had to do it myself. And I judged people based on where I was in my life, and why doesn't everybody work 60, 70, 80 hours a week? And why do they do this? And why don't they do that? Why aren't they like me? Until I accepted the fact that not everybody's like me, and not everybody wants to be like me, and I had to accept people for who they are. That's when I really was able to grab a hold of people and work with them and trust them. And so I guess my message on this is that I don't think this would have happened for me. I know it wouldn't have happened for me if I didn't get out of my own way and start working with people better than I was in my early part of my career. And it took me some time, probably 5, 6 years after I started HMA Paving and Contracting, before I realized that.
Big question here, knowing that we did a 39 unit, now we're doing a 60 unit that's going to close late next week. What is on your mind for further real estate investments going forward? I know it's something that we go property by property. You're very, very busy with your primary business, and it's just a question while I have the world here listening, because I have no idea what you're going to say. What do you want to do going forward with large multifamily?
Yeah, I would love to continue to invest in multifamily, especially knowing that we have a phenomenal partnership involved here, yourself, myself, and John. I would love to acquire, a property a year. In fact, if we can, the next move, we can get 100 unit. I'm very much of a owner operator, let's just say, where I'm very much, I don't want to operate it necessarily. When I say operate it, I like to be a strong partner and part of the ownership team, for sure. I would love to see this partnership continue and move forward. And like John, the third partner, has mentioned, utilizing the person that comes with this 60 unit as somebody that can help us expand into other properties. So yeah, if we could, for me to do anything less than a 30 unit at these days, I would have to say I'm not really interested in anything under a 30 unit at this point in my career. So anything 30 units and up, the Grant Cardone kind of philosophy is really what I would probably steer for sure. Now, my comfort zone or my money zone or whatever it may be could be one deal a year.
I love that go big mindset. Bill and I have been working hard to expand into the Tampa, St. Petersburg, Florida market. Do you have any interest in expanding to a different market, and why or why not?
Yeah, I would actually. Yeah, absolutely, for sure. We have something down in Florida together. It's a smaller property, but yeah, I would be interested in, absolutely.
So in a year when things, the deal flow is so uncertain, as I explained to so many people, you just don't know what that next deal looks like. So, fast forwarding to next August, and we manufacture some type of deal, and I say, hey Mike, I got a great deal. It's 120 units. What do you say?
I say, yeah, let's do it. Well, Mayville, I'm saying, let me see the numbers. And then the other thing that I'd like to tell the real estate investors out there that, Bill and I, what we've done right is we know properties, and he and I can walk in a property and most of the time know if it's for us or not, just because we have the experience. So I would entice all real estate investors, if they don't have the experience, to find somebody that does, to go with them to the deal and to look at the deal and feel the deal type of thing. So that would be the two things that I would say is, where is it? Let's go look at it, and where are the numbers, and then what's the opportunity here? Where we've done well is, using that 14 unit as an example. We bought that in 2003. I remember to this day that the income was like $57,000 a year, and my God, we're up to probably, not quite triple that, but it's almost triple that in 18 years. So that's the power of real estate. It just continues to go up and up and up in value and also in income. And at the same time, you get the tax, benefits with real estate.
So many
that's the
good
beauty
parts
of
real
that,
estate.
where it's not necessarily all skilled base. You add skill and expertise, add that to the beauty of real estate. 1 + 1 equals, the best investment vehicle in the world.
Absolutely. 95% of millionaires have done it in real estate. So it's very, very important, to me, and it should be to everyone. It should be part of their portfolio, so to speak. Should be one of their pillars, for sure.
Well, at this point, you're both certainly seasoned real estate investors. At this point in your career, Mike, what really excites you? What gets you out of bed in the morning and makes you excited to go to work?
What excites me, Steve, is crushing it with my team. I feel like it's funny. I was thinking of this earlier this morning when the analogy I like to put into place is, we all know the story of Michael Jordan. He won three championships, went out for a year or two and tried to play baseball, and he came back and won 3 championships again. Well, it's hard to compare myself to Michael Jordan, but I just feel like at 56 years old, I still get up, 3:30, 4:30, 5 o'clock every morning, and I'm just as passionate to crush it with my team as I've always been. Doesn't mean that I don't do it a little differently, but I'm still going for that title. I just feel like I'm always going for that win that I want, and But it's not just to get the jobs anymore or buying that real estate. It just seems like I'm just so much more into doing it with other people and for other people and making it as a team effort. And that's what gets me up every day. It's just continuing the passion for, crushing it every day and making it happen.
That's beautiful. And that leads me to a thought about people. And before you know it, it's going to be Thanksgiving time. And I know that you have done so much for people that are in need of food for their family, especially at holiday times. And you have grown this basket brigade from, I don't know, where did we start that, or where did you start that, from 8 or 10 baskets to what you've done till now? Can you explain that journey?
Yeah, I got to tell you, I dabbled with it years and years and years ago. I was inspired by Tony Robbins because he's got his basket brigade campaign that he does. He feeds millions of people. And being a Tony Robbins student since I was 27 or 29 years old, tend to use him as a model for myself, as a mentor. Like, I had one small one, 6 or 10 people came and brought baskets, but that was going back 15 years ago. When I really got serious about it was, again, I was inspired in 2015 at an event that I went to from him, and I brought it home to my team. In 2016, I sat down with my team and said to them that I wanted to feed 50 people, 50 families on Thanksgiving, a full Thanksgiving meal in a basket. And I remember what they said to me. They all looked at me like, "What are you, crazy? How are you going to do that?" Well, that first year, that team got together and, we assembled the baskets in an office trailer next to my main office for 166 families, and we delivered them that year. And last year, it's grown to the point of we fed 930 families. And that was accomplished by, again, joining forces with people. This is people are power and people. The YMCA has taken it as one of their main programs that they do for their community, and we're going to be growing this basket brigade to 1,000 families this year, where everybody either has the chance to have it delivered to their house, or they pick it up at our location or a YMCA location. So it's near and dear to my heart. I would love to see this thing expand every year tenfold, but there's so much need out there. What I like about it most about the Basket Brigade is you don't have to give money to be part of it. You can give your time, you can give your you can go out and collect food, and just you can give 2 canned goods, whatever you want to do to be part of this campaign is all that has to happen. It's people helping people is what I like to call it.
And how can people help towards this Basket Brigade, Mike?
Well, what they can do is they can donate time or money. I can send out a link to you guys at some point over the next week. I'm going to be getting my letter together that I always send to I have clients and vendors that always donate funds to help underwrite, because it costs, when I first started this thing in 2016, the cost to feed a family was $50. But I can tell you right now, the cost to feed a family in 2021, after all of what's been happening, is it's going to be more than $50. I would guess it's more like $65. So to feed one family, if somebody wanted to donate $65, that would feed a full family. So I will share with you guys a link to my letter when I write that. In fact, I just had my first meeting about this year's campaign just 2 days ago, and some things will start getting out there where you'll see it and people can donate to it.
That's an amazing cause. I'm certainly feeling inspired right now.
It's called the Caring Community Basket Brigade.
Okay, thank you. Mike has a lot of pillars to hold up. So, Bill, do you wanna wrap this one up?
Yeah, yes, that is for sure, Stephen. Mike, They say to have a collection of anything, you need 3 of something. So we have a collection of questions for you to wrap this up. Number 1, please tell us about your 1 to 2 year business goals.
1 to 2 year business goals. I would love to, this is something, and it sounds like an easy business goal, but it's been a little bit of a challenge because I tend to get busy with my contracting business. But I really want to have a coaching business that generates enough clients to do $250,000 worth of volume a year, which would mean that I would have other coaches underneath me. Again, that's possible, but my first start is to have 1 call per day with a client. Right now, I've only have a handful of clients. So I'm only doing 1 call a week, but I truly want to help others, and that's my probably, believe it or not, it's not my big thing that's going to generate the most money, but that's probably my biggest goal is to grow my coaching business. And then I in the future, I would like to really make it so HMA Paving and Contracting has got some ownership by its employees. And that's a big goal, whether it's a year or 2 or 3 years away or 4 years, but that's a big goal of mine for business. And then also, thirdly, I would say is to continue to collect real estate on a basis where I can feel like I'm participating in that end of it and building security for my family.
I love that. Those first 2 points are purely about helping people. So that coaching isn't about, getting wealthy or getting rich. It's about helping people. And second, giving back to your employees at HMA to allow them to share in the ownership of that business. It's all about allowing those people that have helped you grow. Now you're going to allow them to grow. So I love that so much.
Thank you.
Number 2, your 1 to 2 year personal goals.
Yeah, nothing too, I was going to say nothing too super exciting other than the fact that I would love to, there's no big weight loss goals or anything like that. I would definitely want to attend another 1 or 2 events by Tony Robbins, which I'll do. I would say one of my biggest goals is I would love to have a house close to the lake in Lake Placid, sell my condo and move up to a bigger house from the condo that I have. That's a huge goal of mine. And then probably thirdly, I've been really thinking about expanding my backyard into a showpiece backyard at my primary residence with some hardscape and maybe a pavilion of some sort or an enclosure of some sort off the house for entertaining and whatnot. So those are really all of my personal goals. And again, I had already shared it with you before, the 1,000 people for the basket brigade. I'd love to get that to 2,000.
Beautiful.
So
beautiful.
That's a personal goal.
You're someone with a lot of good goals.
Number 3, Mike.
I wasn't sure if they had I didn't know how special they were, but they're definitely something that I'm thinking about.
Awesome.
Absolutely.
Number 3, how can Stephen, I, or the listeners assist you? And how can we contact you? I guess primarily anybody who has heard your story about the basket brigade, please, how can they contact Mike?
Well, my email address is mhamel, Hamel, at hmacontracting.com. There's information about the basket brigade right on that website. That's my contracting website. And that's probably the best way to get a hold of me. My email address for sure. And I'm on LinkedIn. Mike Hamel on LinkedIn under HMA Contracting. I do post 3 to 4 things a week, and I love to talk to people through LinkedIn. the only thing I would say is, my coaching business, I like to, my niche, as we saw in business, we all want to pull down our niche and who we're trying to work with. Mine is new business owners of contracting companies and real estate investors. And when I deal with a real estate investor, who am I going to look to help my real estate investor? It's my brother. So it's this whole relationship here with what you two guys are doing with the podcast and helping new investors. I can help them as well with my coaching business. In fact, half of my coaching clients are real estate investors and half are contractors. So, and it's no wonder, because that's how I market myself, as new business owners for real estate investors and contracting. So you guys can probably just spread the word about my coaching business.
No, thank you so much. I know I was very excited about this episode because you're my brother, but also because you have so much to offer. Hopefully the listeners were able to get a lot of value from this discussion. So please subscribe to Collecting Real Estate Podcast. Give us a 5-star review. And Mike, thank you once again for being such a great guest.
Thank you, Bill. Thank you, Steve. Awesome job. I really appreciate it. Have an awesome weekend, guys. Thanks.
You too.
Okay. See ya.
Bye-bye.